Alright, today, along with the Victrola the 8th I was working on, I've also been working on another 102, HMV-102. Doing some work on the motor and need a little case work on this one. You can see it probably was a little bit damp somewhere, and this has to be re-glued there too, and there, but that's normal stuff. Just a little wood glue and some clamps takes care of that, and the Rexine glues right back on. Needs a thorough scrubbing. This one probably didn't have a lot of use on it, because look at that handle. That's the original handle on that, and looks perfect. There's no cracks, splits, not peeling off. That's pretty rare in my experience with 102s and 101s that use this handle, and other HMV machines. They tend to, because they are leather, they tend to crack and crumble and come off, but not this one. This one's in pretty good shape. I have a feeling it was sitting upright like this, and that's why down here, where it would be on the floor, that's where it must have got some dampness somewhere, and that's where it lifted the Rexine a bit and started to separate the joints. Well, it didn't separate the joints, just loosened the glue. These things use hide glue, which is water soluble, which is what I use when I put them back together. You know, typical carpenter's wood glue basically, and it can loosen with dampness. Just humidity in the air can do it, any of these machines, and in Victrolas too. But we'll get that straightened out. It's not a big deal. Some little bits and pieces I'm working on here, picking the grease out of the gears and stuff. They've already been through a solvent bath, but got to get inside the grooves of those gears and just make sure there's no crap buried down in there. That's what picks are for, little dental picks. You get in there, and this is your non-return winding assembly here. There's a spring that goes on here, and the crank goes in there, or winding handle if you prefer. That's the gear that goes with it. Pretty good spring in this one. This is not an original HMV spring. This machine is 1936 or 37. I haven't looked at the serial number, but it has the bullets on the turntable for the tray, so that means it's definitely pre-war, and it doesn't have a metal motor board, so it's post-1934. So it's going to be about 36, 37, 38, right in there somewhere. The spring's been replaced. It's not an HMV spring. You know, it's a very nice, it's in good condition. Even the grease wasn't that bad in there yet. It was kind of thick and dry, but not baked on like you sometimes find with original grease. It was definitely not too bad of a hardship to get it off. So that's good. That doesn't need a new spring. This one did have the ball bearing in that cup right there where it should have been. There are no problems there. Although I do know where to source them from now, but still, it's nice that I don't have to do that. Whoever did the spring in it was aware of that bearing and made sure they didn't lose it. Maybe it just stuck in there and it never fell out. I don't know. Let's take a look at what do we got here. We have a turntable with felt that needs a little bit of re-gluing. They used shellac originally to glue these on, and I generally just use white glue. It works just as well. Although I'm not really that concerned if it, you know, it's not peeling too badly. Here's the, you know, the assemblies. These still have to be cleaned. That's the auto stop. I'm sure that's going to be fun. That's your speed control. A nice and dirty motor board. Look at that dust there. Model 102. There you go. 102, 103, 490. Oops, almost dropped it. Don't want to do that. There's your horn. This is that's the tone on. It's tucked in there. This is the horn that the 102 uses. Essentially, not that changed from the 101's horn. Except the 101, the horn opening is only this big. So the 102, you get all the way to the end, and it's slightly larger over here as well. The tube is slightly larger for the larger tone arm. And it's a really nice piece of engineering. It's all holding up very well. Nothing surprising inside the cabinet. You know, there's the little bits and parts. Some of them need a little derusting, or, you know, that's easy stuff. Not that big of a deal. All of that will be taken care of over the next few weeks as I play with this. Machine's been sitting in a closet for, I don't know, 8, 9 years waiting for me to get to it, so I will eventually get it finished. That's what we do in COVID America, the second winter of COVID with nothing else to do but hide here in the shop and get some work done on the Victrolas and HMVs and so on. But that was my project for today. You know, nothing earth-shaking, Just normal maintenance. I didn't find any broken parts on this. Everything's good. Everything was there. Even the clip that holds the turntable down was there. Nothing was missing for a change. That's good. No surprises except finding a decent spring. That kind of was a surprise because I usually do have to replace these springs. You know, I imported a bunch of them from Europe some time back, and I've been using them as needed. But don't need to on this one. It has an excellent spring in there. That thing was pushing through the hardened grease, not hardened, pushing through the thick and grease even in the cold to spin a turntable before I took it apart. So I knew right away that there was going to be some good news when I opened up the spring barrel. All right. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Another 102. Well, eventually I'm going to get to that also. That's an Ansonia mantle clock. I'm not sure the age. Could be anything from 1900s to 1920s, somewhere around in there. Hey, Victrola age, you know, not that much different. And with a spring-powered motor in it that I think just is dry. It's dry. It's not, it ticks, then it stops, then it ticks some more, then it stops. So it probably needs adjustment. And a little oil. I got to get the special clock oil, which is very thin, which I haven't got yet, but we'll get to that another time. It's just there to remind me to finally get to the project, that's all.